Lord of all creation, as the morning light breaks through my window and touches the faces of my sleeping children, my heart overflows with gratitude beyond words. You've entrusted these precious souls to my care, these miracles that bear your fingerprints in every smile, every tear, every moment of growth. Father, I invite all parents watching this to join me in this sacred moment of thanksgiving, to pause and recognize the divine gift we've been given in our children. If this prayer touches your heart, please subscribe to continue this journey of faith together as we lift our families before the throne of grace each morning. I promise you, when we gather as parents in prayer, heaven moves in ways we cannot imagine. Like Hannah in the temple at Shiloh, I stand before you today with my heart wide open. She knew the ache of longing, the weight of waiting, and the joy of answered prayer through her son Samuel. I remember how she poured out her soul before you, how her lips moved in silent petition while her heart thundered with desire. We parents understand that sacred desperation, that willingness to promise anything, surrender everything, just to see our children blessed and walking in your ways. Hannah's story reminds us that our children are only ever on loan from you, Lord. Sacred trusts return to your service. Just as Hannah declared, "For this child I prayed," we too acknowledge that each of our children exists because you heard our hearts' cries. Whether they came to us after years of waiting or arrived unexpectedly in your perfect timing, each one bears the imprint of your divine plan. Hannah's willingness to give Samuel back to you challenges me deeply. Am I holding my children too tightly? Have I forgotten they belong first to you? This morning, with Hannah's courage in my heart, I loosen my anxious grip and recommit them to your purposes. I think of how Hannah visited Samuel yearly, bringing him a new robe, watching him grow in wisdom and stature before you and others. Like her, we clothe our children not just with fabric, but with prayer, with blessing, with boundaries that protect and wisdom that guides. We measure their growth not just in inches, but in character, in compassion, in their growing knowledge of you. And like Hannah, we must learn the sacred rhythm of holding close and letting go, of nurturing and releasing, of speaking and remaining silent. Hannah's song of praise after Samuel's birth echoes in my spirit this morning. My heart rejoices in the Lord. She recognized that her answered prayer was about something far greater than her personal joy. It was about your kingdom purposes unfolding through generations. Father, help us see our children through this eternal lens. When the daily challenges of parenting drain our strength, remind us of Hannah's perseverance. When we're tempted to view our children as extensions of ourselves, remind us of her surrender. When we struggle to trust your timing, remind us of her faithful waiting. Like Hannah, may we be parents whose prayers shape history. I prayed for this child, and the Lord has granted me what I asked of him. So now I give him to the Lord. For his whole life he will be given over to the Lord. 1 Samuel 1:27-28. Children are a heritage from the Lord, offspring a reward from him. Like arrows in the hands of a warrior are children born in one's youth. Blessed is the man whose quiver is full of them. Psalm 127:3-5. Start children off on the way they should go, and even when they are old they will not turn from it. Proverbs 22:6. See that you do not despise one of these little ones, for I tell you that their angels in heaven always see the face of my Father in heaven. Matthew 18:10. This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Psalm 118:24. Father of all comfort, as the morning sun bathes our home in golden light, I stand in awe of the miracle of my children. Each breath they take is a testimony to your creative power. Each heartbeat a rhythm of your divine composition. Like the psalmist who declared children are a heritage from the Lord, I acknowledge today that these precious lives are not my possession, but your sacred trust. Their very existence defies probability. Out of countless possibilities, you formed these specific souls and placed them in my care. This morning, I pause in wonder at this undeserved gift and whisper my gratitude for the privilege of being called their parent. When weariness weighs heavy on my shoulders and patience wears thin, remind me of the fleeting nature of these years. Like morning dew that vanishes with the rising sun, these days of childhood evaporate before our eyes. The small hands that reach for mine will one day reach for dreams beyond our home. The little feet that patter down our hallways will soon walk paths of their own choosing. Grant me the wisdom to treasure these moments, even the challenging ones, knowing that in your divine economy nothing is wasted. Every tear wiped, every lesson taught, every prayer whispered over sleeping forms builds an eternal legacy. Lord, I confess the times I've viewed my children through the distorted lens of my own expectations, rather than seeing them as you do. How often I've tried to shape them according to my limited vision instead of discovering the unique design you've already established in them. Like clay in the potter's hands, I sometimes resist your molding, forgetting that both they and I are works in progress under your skilled touch. This morning, I surrender my parental pride, my anxious control, my fearful projections. Give me eyes to see the masterpiece you're creating in each child, not a reflection of myself, but a revelation of your creative genius. In the sacred space of this morning prayer, I lift each child before you by name, acknowledging that before they were formed in the womb, you knew them. Before they drew their first breath, you numbered their days. Before they spoke their first word, you had already written their story. Like Hannah, who prayed for Samuel, I recognize that my children's ultimate purpose lies not in fulfilling my dreams, but in answering your call. May my hands hold them loosely enough that they can freely reach for your hand. May my voice speak blessing over them, echoing the words you whisper over their lives. May my heart beat in rhythm with yours as I guide them toward their divine destiny. The path of parenthood stretches before me like an uncharted wilderness, beautiful yet daunting, filled with unexpected joys and unforeseen challenges. Like the Israelites following the pillar of fire by night and cloud by day, I need your constant guidance to navigate this journey. When I stand at crossroads of decision, illuminate the way forward. When cultural voices clamor for my children's allegiance, let your truth speak louder. When my own strength fails in the face of overwhelming responsibility, carry me as the eagle carries its young. This morning I choose to walk not by sight but by faith, trusting that you who began this good work of parenthood in me will be faithful to complete it. Creator of dawn and dusk, as this new day unfolds before us, I marvel at how you've woven my children's lives into the tapestry of my own. Like branches extending from a vine, they draw their strength from roots I've helped establish, yet grow in directions I could never predict. The mystery of their unfolding personalities, their unique gifts, their distinct challenges, their individual callings leaves me breathless with wonder. You've entrusted these sacred souls to my imperfect hands, knowing all my weaknesses, yet believing in the parent you're shaping me to become. This morning I receive afresh this holy assignment, acknowledging both its weight and its privilege. In the quiet of this dawn hour, I confess the times I've allowed the urgent to crowd out the important, when screens replaced conversations, when schedules overshadowed connection, when my preoccupation with providing blinded me to the gift of presence. Like Martha bustling about the house while Mary sat at your feet, I've sometimes chosen distraction over devotion, missing the better portion you offered. Forgive me, Father, for the moments I've been physically present but emotionally absent. Today, as the morning light streams through our windows, I choose to be fully here, to listen deeply, to observe carefully, to engage wholeheartedly with these precious lives you've placed in my care. Lord of wisdom and discernment, I need your guidance as I navigate the complex terrain of modern parenting. The voices around me offer contradicting counsel. The culture pulls my children in 1,000 directions. Like a shepherd leading sheep through treacherous mountain passes, I must guide them through landscapes I myself find bewildering. Grant me supernatural wisdom beyond my years and experience. When I stand at crossroads of decision, illuminate the ancient paths where the good way lies. When I lack answers to their difficult questions, fill my mouth with words seasoned with grace and truth. When I face situations beyond my understanding, whisper your wisdom into my uncertain heart. Divine Protector, I place a hedge of prayer around my children this morning, not a wall that imprisons, but a boundary that safeguards. Like the mountains surrounding Jerusalem, may your presence encircle them wherever they go today. Guard their eyes from images that would poison their imagination, their ears from words that would wound their spirit, their hearts from influences that would lead them astray. Yet I know I cannot shield them from every hardship or disappointment. When trials come, as they surely will, may these challenges strengthen rather than shatter them. May difficulties develop their character rather than diminish their faith. May obstacles become opportunities for them to experience your faithfulness firsthand. Father of compassion, I pray that my children would develop hearts that beat in rhythm with yours, hearts that break for what breaks yours, hearts that celebrate what delights you. Like Samuel, who learned to recognize your voice amid the temple's silence, may they discern your whisper amid the world's noise. Like David, who worshipped you in fields before he served you in palaces, may they develop private devotion before public expression. Like Esther, who recognized her divine appointment for such a time as this, may they discover their unique purpose in your kingdom narrative. Plant seeds of empathy, courage, integrity, and faith deep within them, seeds that will grow into mighty oaks of righteousness, bringing glory to your name for generations to come. Eternal Father, as morning light filters through our home, I'm reminded that my children are living epistle stories of your grace unfolding before a watching world. Each chapter of their lives reveals something of your character. Each plot twist demonstrates your faithfulness. Like a master storyteller, you've woven redemptive themes into their narrative, themes of belonging, purpose, identity, and hope. When I grow anxious about their future chapters, remind me that you've already seen the ending. When I try to edit your storyline according to my limited understanding, gently take the pen from my trembling hand. This morning, I surrender the story of my children's lives to the author who loves them even more than I do. Lord of generations, I recognize that my influence extends far beyond what I can see today. Like ripples spreading across still water, the words I speak, the boundaries I establish, the faith I demonstrate will touch lives I may never meet. Abraham couldn't have imagined all the nations that would spring from his lineage. Moses couldn't have envisioned all the generations that would find freedom through his obedience. Similarly, I cannot fully comprehend how my parenting today shapes not just my children, but potentially their children's children. This sobering reality drives me to my knees this morning, acknowledging my dependence on your wisdom for this sacred stewardship that echoes through eternity. Divine Healer, I bring before you the wounds that affect my parenting, unresolved hurts from my own childhood, patterns of dysfunction passed down through generations, fears that paralyze my decision-making, insecurities that distort my perspective. Like the woman who touched the hem of your garment after years of suffering, I reach for your healing power today. Where my parents failed me, help me forgive rather than replicate their mistakes. Where society wounded me, grant me restoration that prevents me from wounding my own children. Where my own choices have created scars, transform those very marks into sources of wisdom and compassion. May the healing you work in me cascade down to my children, breaking generational cycles and establishing new legacies of wholeness. Faithful provider, I entrust to you every need my children face, physical, emotional, intellectual, and spiritual. Like the disciples watching you multiply loaves and fishes to feed thousands, I sometimes stare at my inadequate resources, wondering how they could possibly meet such enormous needs. The college funds seem too small, the hours in the day too few, my wisdom too limited, my strength too depleted. Yet you specialize in multiplication miracles, taking our humble offerings and expanding them beyond imagination. This morning I place my 5 loaves and 2 fish, all that I have to give my children, into your capable hands, trusting you to make it enough. Where I lack, you supply. Where I falter, you sustain. Where I end, you begin. God of perfect timing, I surrender my anxious thoughts about my children's development and future to your sovereign calendar. Like farmers who plant seeds and then wait patiently for harvest, trusting the unseen processes of growth, help me to respect the seasons of my children's lives. When I'm tempted to rush their maturity or mourn the passing of stages, remind me that each age has its purpose in your divine design. The child who struggles to tie shoes today may lead nations tomorrow. The teenager wrestling with doubt may become tomorrow's apostle. Like a symphony conductor who knows precisely when each instrument should enter the arrangement, you orchestrate the perfect timing for each gift to emerge, each calling to clarify, each purpose to unfold. This morning, as the sun rises to mark a new day, I choose to trust your perfect timing in my children's story. Mighty warrior God, as this morning dawns, I recognize that the battle for my children's hearts and minds is not against flesh and blood. Behind every temptation, every harmful influence, every destructive pattern, lies an enemy who seeks to steal, kill, and destroy their divine destiny. Like Elisha, who prayed for his servant's eyes to be opened to see the armies of heaven, I ask you to heighten my spiritual perception today. Where I see only problems, show me your power. Where I perceive only obstacles, reveal your opportunities. Where I focus on temporary struggles, remind me of eternal victories. I stand in the authority of Jesus Christ, drawing a line in the sand that the enemy cannot cross. My children belong to you, and no weapon formed against them shall prosper. Father of lights, I put on the full armor of God as I intercede for my children in these dawn hours. I fasten the belt of truth around my waist, rejecting the lies that whisper I'm failing as a parent or that my children are beyond hope. I secure the breastplate of righteousness, standing not in my own perfection, but in the finished work of Christ. On my feet I wear the readiness that comes from the gospel of peace, prepared to guide my children through life's battlefields with steady faith. I lift the shield of faith against the flaming arrows of doubt, fear, and accusation. I place the helmet of salvation on my head, guarding my thoughts with the assurance of your redemptive love. And I take up the sword of the Spirit, your living word, declaring its promises over my family with bold conviction. In the mighty name of Jesus, I speak directly to the specific battles my children face today. To anxiety that would paralyze them, I command, peace, be still. To addictive patterns that would enslave them, I declare, whom the Son sets free is free indeed. To peer pressure that would compromise their values, I proclaim, do not be conformed to this world. To identity confusion that would distort their self-image, I assert, "You are fearfully and wonderfully made," to spiritual apathy. That would dull their hearts, I cry. "Awake, O sleeper, and Christ will give you light." Like Joshua, who boldly declared, "As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord," I plant this standard in the soil of my family's life, claiming this territory for your kingdom. Lord of breakthrough, where generational patterns of dysfunction, addiction, or unbelief have created strongholds in my family line, I stand in the gap today. Like Nehemiah inspecting broken walls before rebuilding, I honestly assess these vulnerabilities without shame or denial. Like Moses lifting his staff to part impossible waters, I raise my parental authority in faith, believing you can create a path where there seems no way. The chains that bound previous generations will not bind my children. The ceiling that limited my own growth will not restrict their potential. The fears that paralyzed my parents will not paralyze my sons and daughters. By your Spirit, I demolish arguments and every pretension that sets itself up against the knowledge of God in my family, taking captive every thought and making it obedient. To Christ, King of Glory, I conclude this spiritual battle cry with a bold declaration of faith. Though the enemy may attack, my household serves the Lord. Though cultural currents may pull strongly, my children's anchors hold fast to eternal truth. Though temporary setbacks may discourage, the ultimate victory is already secured through Christ. I refuse to parent from a position of fear, but choose instead to lead from a stance of faith. Like David facing Goliath, I run toward the very giants that threaten my children, armed with nothing but your name and promise. The battle belongs to the Lord. My children's spiritual heritage is not determined by statistics or societal trends, but by the unchanging character of God, who began a good work in them and will carry it to completion. As surely as the morning sun has risen today, I claim every promise in your word for my children, standing firm in the unshakable confidence that what you have promised, you will fulfill. Faithful Father, as this prayer draws to a close and the morning light fully illuminates our day, my heart overflows with renewed hope for my children's future. What began as gratitude has deepened into trust. What started as petition has transformed into praise. I stand now in the unshakable confidence that the same God who formed my children in the secret place continues to shape their destiny with perfect wisdom and unfailing love. Parents watching this video, we are not alone in this sacred journey. Stand together as a community of faith, lifting our children before the throne of grace. If this prayer has touched your heart, please subscribe to join our family of praying parents who gather daily in this virtual sanctuary, where you'll receive daily spiritual encouragement and prayers specifically designed for the challenges your children face. Comment Amen below to be included in our next prayer gathering, where we'll continue to intercede for the next generation. And share this prayer with another parent who needs this same encouragement today, so that more hearts can experience the peace that comes from surrendering our children to the one who loves them even more than we do. The morning may begin with uncertainty, but it ends with this certainty. Our children rest in the hands of a God whose plans for them are good, whose power is limitless, and whose love never fails.